You put the Zenfone 10 on there?
Yeah. I use that. I use the Zenfone 9 a lot. I didn't make the cut over the Pixel 7 Pro, but those two Zenphones in a row were heavy for me. Yeah, that is my list. I had originally this it was a knockoff Razor because, I don't know, the Razor was expensive or something. I don't remember. I remember going to the Verizon store and they had the Razor and it was really cool, but it couldn't afford it. So they gave me the like really cheap, like knockoff, like Samsung one or something. And but the battery life was amazing. It was thick. It was a thick boy. Very nice. It lasted about 2 weeks, I think, on a charge. Yeah. And used mini USB. The iPhone came out. The famous plug that I make that I was in the audience there. Okay. And I was like, it's cool, but it was only on AT&T and also it's really expensive. Or I guess it was Singular at the time. And I couldn't afford it. So I was like, well, boohoo. Then Android came out and I was like, And so when the HTC Thunderbolt got announced, which was the first 4G phone in America, I was like, oh my God, there's finally an Android phone on Verizon. Worst battery life I've ever tested on a phone.
Oh my God. Not only, okay, so I had it for about a week and it was amazing. It was sort of a precursor to the HTC One M6, M7, M8, M9 stuff. So the build quality was amazing. It was like made of metal. It was super nice. Had a really good screen. But not only was the build quality like horrible. I mean, not build quality. The battery life horrible. It literally burned my hand because I was trying to do Skype and one other thing at the same time. So it burned my. It was so cool. Look how cool it looks.
The old clock widgets on Android
they're peak.
Perfect.
They're just amazing, and it looks so cool. It had front-facing speakers. It had a kickstand built into it. It was dope as hell, but unfortunately, it burned my hand, and so I had to return it. So I switched it out for a Samsung Droid Charge, and the build quality of Samsung Droid Charge was doo-doo water. Much worse. It was made of plastic. It was flimsy. It was crappy.
I think I reviewed that phone.
Yeah, the Droid Charge. It was pretty bad. I honestly should have just dealt with the pain. But then the Samsung Galaxy S3 got announced, and that was like a big deal in the phone world. Everyone was super, super hyped for that phone. I think it was like one of the first 1 gigahertz processor phones. I think it was the first 1 gigahertz processor phone. It was a big deal. I was really excited for that. I pre-ordered it. It was the first phone I pre-ordered. And that was amazing. Galaxy S3. That was the first one to introduce the like TouchWiz like water droplet sounds when every time you would unlock it would go like,
HTC.
Very nice. LG G3 was the next phone. It was the first 1440p phone. Yeah. And it came with all these demo videos on it that was like, look at 1440p resolution. And it was like all those YouTube videos that you watch where it's like sweeping through vistas and it was like bright and it was like, show this to your friends and buy more LG stuff. And that was great because like that was an awesome LG phone. It had the volume rockers were on the back underneath and the power button was right in between.
Yeah,
it was so dope.
I love that.
It was super cool. It had a huge screen. So I really liked that. Nexus 6P gets announced. Nexus 6 gets announced. Shamu. Previously, I had wanted to have Nexus phones because they were all so cool and so affordable. Like the Nexus 4 was the sparkly back, and it was like $300. It was so awesome.
But it wasn't available everywhere.
It was not available everywhere. Definitely not on Verizon. Most of the Nexuses were not on Verizon, and I was on my family's plan, and I could not get off, and it sucked. But the Nexus 6 got announced. And it came out and it got announced at $650, which was unbelievably expensive at the time. There was all this outrage on Droid Life. The comment section were going crazy. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe they do this. And then the next day I bought one. And I really got convinced because Google Fi got announced with the Nexus 6. It was like, now it's called Google Project Fi Google Fi Wireless now is what it's called. The name has changed a few times. But because it got announced, I was like, you know what? I'm finally a freshman in college. I should get off my mom's phone plan. Going to be totally independent. So I got a Nexus 6. That phone was awesome. It was basically a Moto X 2013, but way bigger because the rumor was that they were going to work with Huawei on that phone, and Huawei pulled out at the last minute. And Moto was like, we could just make a bigger Moto X.
It had the dimple on the back.
Yeah. And so that's what they did for that. Nexus 6P was the next one. That's when Huawei came back swinging. It was basically the build quality of the HTC Thunderbolt, but even better. Many people revere the Nexus 6P as the nicest designed smartphone ever made, and I still think that it's really high up there.
I would argue the current Pixels look the way they do because of the 6P.
Yeah, well, sort of. Yeah, yeah.
It had the visor in the back.
It had the
original
visor.
Sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet. And then from there on out, because I was on Project Fi, I was able to live that Google goodness life. They announced the Pixel 1, and I bought that, and I bought the Pixel 2, and then I bought the Pixel 3 XL with the Omega bathtub notch. That was pretty sweet. Then I had the Pixel 4 XL with the radar that would destroy the battery and never work. And then the Pixel 4a came out, and I still hold that I think the Pixel 4a was one of the best smartphones ever made because it was back to $350. It just had a really, really seamless UI. The Pixel UI was really maturing. It had Google Assistant was really amazing at that time. It was really light. It had one camera. It was really small. It was a small phone, smallandroidphone.com.
5.81 inch.
Yeah, it it was awesome.
Rear fingerprint reader.
Yeah. I think my
Accent power button.
The accented power button.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my title for my review of that phone was a phone so good you won't even have to use it. Because you just use Google Assistant for everything.
Yeah.
And then the screen was really good when you did actually use it.
Smallandroidphone.com is a real website.
I know, and
that's a petition to make small.
It's run by Eric Mijakovsky, which is the Pebble guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He actually was really excited about the minimal phone getting the Android layer unlocked because it's a small phone. So, or is the Light Phone 3? Light Phone 3. Sorry.
Yeah, minimal phone is huge.
Yeah. Anyway, Pixel 5 also small, really awesome. It was that it was a little bit cheaper and a little bit it was made of plastic again, but it was that cool it was made of metal but also plastic, and they were able to get the wireless charging through the metal because they carved a hole in the metal in the center. Mm-hmm. That was really awesome. Pixel 6, super exciting because it was the big redesign of the Pixel. They added Material U to the Pixel 6. Super awesome. Then I became depressed and bought an iPhone 14 Pro. And the reason I bought it, if we're going to be honest, is because it was square. And that really won me over. But then I moved to the Pixel Fold because that was dope. And then the iPhone 15 Pro came out and it had USB-C and it was also square. So it brought me back. I was back on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Then the Pixel Fold 2 came out and I was on that for a while because it was cool. It was pretty cool. And then the iPhone 16 Pro came out and it looked exactly the same as the 15
I love
Pro.
how the Pixel needs to add a whole second screen and the iPhone's USB-C and David's damn it, I'm in.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much where I'm at. I will say I reviewed probably 200 phones in between there, and I liked a lot of them, didn't like a lot of them, but probably my favorite phone that I reviewed in between there was the Oppo Find X2 Pro.
Yeah.
I want to say that. That phone rocked.
God, a lot of throwbacks here.
Yeah. So that's my chronology. This is going to be a long podcast episode.
Mine's not that long. I can go quick. Mine is mostly haha, look, he's old.
I looked at yours and I realized where I misremembered the Samsung flip phone thing, but you have one Samsung flip phone in here that when I was in elementary school was if you had that thing, you were the coolest kid on the block.
I generally, my first phone, so 2003, I put timestamps for this. Mm-hmm. The AudioVox CDM 9100.
God damn, you are old.
This thing was
what the heck is even that?
This phone, I had the worst phone out of all of my friends, but this thing was indestructible.
I have a question.
It looks like it.
When you owned it, were the buttons that color of yellow, or is that because of time? No, that was a design choice.
I mean, it was also the backlight kind of had this greenish hue to it, greenish yellow hue to it, so you could see it in the dark.
I believe it's a greenish yellow dew, if you will.
But yeah, I might have had this phone.
This thing, no, my friends used to be oh, his phone sucks, and they would take it and throw it against the wall, and the battery would pop out, and then I just pop the battery back in, and it was totally fine.
RIP removable batteries.
Yeah, you really had to learn T9 on that thing if you wanted to type at any sort of speed.
For
in a
the
text
young
message.
people that listen to us, T9 is when you have a number pad and each of them have 3 letters on them, and you learn how to like touch type words underneath the table.
Well, it's a little weird because you could either do ABC, which was like if the 2 key has ABC, A is 1 touch,
Yeah.
B is 2 touch. But T9 was like predictive.
Yeah.
So you would just type all the letters that were in the word. And then, so if it was dog, you would press 3, 6, what's G? 4. And it would either say dog or you would press the arrow buttons to pick other words that have those amount of letters in it.
I used
And
to
you'd get
T9
really
under the
fast at that.
table so fast.
It's a pro. You really on this phone had to learn about it was called like button lock, or because like if you just stuck this in your pocket, it would just press buttons and call people, and you would just leave voicemails to random people when you're like on your bike. So that was a fun time. Then I got my first flip phone, the Samsung SCH A670, whatever. It's a silver Samsung flip phone. Had a camera on it. First time I had a camera.
Was that on
2005? I was Verizon for everything.
Oh, okay.
Which also, you getting your own phone line in high school is very mature. I think I was living with Claire before I got my own phone
Yeah,
line.
it was a thing that I had to beg for because I was never around.
I think college is when I got my own
Your
phone
own,
line.
own phone line?
Yeah.
Wait, your own line?
My own. Yeah, I was on my family plan with Verizon until college.
Oh, you mean your own plan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking
Got
about.
it. Yeah.
Then I did get an LG Voyager. This was when I was like, I like phones. I want this. This thing's sick.
The Voyager was
Screw the iPhone and all the iPhone lovers.
Oh
Plus, it
my
was
god,
only
that's right,
on
because this is
AT&T.
2007.
Yeah. This is who needs an iPhone? I mean, I was also someone who didn't have an iPod. I had a Creative Zen, and like, so I didn't like. I don't know why I didn't like Apple stuff back then. So I got
that
the
was
Voyager.
them. It was us versus them.
It was
back
us first.
then.
Back then, though, Apple was the nerdy thing. Like,
Kinda, yeah.
yeah. It wasn't the mainstream thing in 2007.
iPhone was the Android of phones.
It kind of feels like it. iPhone started. I would say. I would say
was the
Mac.
Android of iPhones.
Mac beforehand was like the
Yeah.
coder,
Yeah,
really nerdy.
Yeah.
I liked it a bit because I did video editing and like that was, but I really liked
Final
Windows
Cut
better.
7.
But anyways, got my Voyager until one day I tripped and broke both screens when it was in my pocket. So then I got the Samsung Alias.
That's the one I was talking about.
This phone was, do you remember this phone?
Yeah, I do.
It's so cool. For those of you who, if there's not a picture on the screen, you could open it like a flip, upways, or a fold, because it had this one hinge on the top right corner. So you could either have it like regular keypad on a phone, or if it was sideways, then it was like a landscape
This is
keyboard.
the LG Wing of 2008.
No, I was looking for some, and there was an LG Wing of 2008 from Samsung.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. Then my first real Android phone, the Droid Aris.
Which, yeah. By the way, this is around when the 3D cameras and 3D screens were like they were trying to make it a thing, and the Evo 3D came out around that time too. Do you remember this? I think it was Sprint only or something.
I don't remember. I remember at my time on Verizon, like if you were doing the Verizon upgrade plan, your two choices were this or the Droid, the first Droid.
And you did this instead.
This was cheaper.
My mom got this.
I got this. It had a little trackball on it. But again,
Flames.
old Android clock widget.
It's so good.
It's just nostalgic.
That's
It was-
the HTC Sense widget. Yeah.
this thing was awesome. I remember like rooting this and thinking I broke it 100 different times.
Hell yeah.
Then I got a Droid 2. Then I started in the Galaxy stuff. S3, S5. This is very clearly, you can tell my plan was an upgrade every 2 years.
Yeah.
So S3, S5, S7. Then I started working here.
Oh.
We got it wasn't a review unit. It was, I think you did something with Casey and they sent like a gift package that had a Note 8 in it and you didn't want it. So I was like, I'll take it. Favorite phone I've ever had.
Note 8 was fire.
Note 8, best phone I think
Actually,
that's ever come out. It was peak.
Wasn't fire because the Note 7 was fire.
It was, yes. This was fire though. But I think like the coolest part of this is the home button was like this button kind of under the screen. So it was just a screen button, but it had a physical press and like a feedback to it.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
That was awesome.
Then I started my Pixel journey, Pixel 3 XL, bathtub, Pixel 4 XL solely, Pixel 6, Pixel 7, Zenfone 10,
Yes.
and now I am back on the Galaxy train with the Galaxy S24.
This is a crazy way to tell the passage of time because I've known you since your 4XL days. And then I keep scrolling. I'm like, whoa, I've known him for so many phones.
I have a question for you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Why'd you go back to the Galaxy S24? I feel like Samsung's the most boring phone right now, especially the regular one.
I don't
Like you could have a
disagree with
Pixel.
you. I don't even remember why I was like, I kind of miss Samsung and went back to it. I like the size of it. The price of it is pretty solid, and
It's from a Zenfone, so you also gained like an extra camera and wireless charging, and
gained an
the
extra
new-
camera from the smaller Pixel
But the
too.
new Zenfone has wireless charging.
yeah,
This
but
one
it's
did have wireless
1000
charging.
feet tall.
Didn't they
This
add
is
wireless
the-
charging to the last one that was
This
cool?
is it. That's this one.
The 10.
Yeah, the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I did. This did have wireless charging. That's why I
Yeah.
switched to it.
Gotcha.
I beat the hell out of that phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I also the real reason I went from Zenfone to S24 and didn't stay on Zenfone, other than it was small, is
They got boring.
I wanted a D-brand case that had the MagSafe puck on it. I still think MagSafe is the best accessory on any phone. Period. So it has to have
Valid.
a case that.
But you
has it.
could, I mean, the Zenfone 10 definitely doesn't need a case.
I had the sticker on the back. It's still annoying to like hold with like this magnetic sticker on it.
Let's see.
But no, I think mine's still at my desk. But yeah, mine's kind of a boring, except for that AudioVox CDM 9100.
I think you should switch to a Kyocera Rise.
I might have to look for one.
Also, Andrew, I just want to say, in my heart, you'll forever be a Zenfone 10. That's just the phone. I see that
I'm
phone
amped
and I'm
about
just like,
that.
that's Andrew's phone.
I like that.
Yeah.
You may think that you're a Zenfone
My
7,
spirit
but
animal.
you'll always be a Zenfone 10 to me, Andrew.
Yeah.
You
The
guys are
man
so
of the
nice.
hour.
Yeah. Here's how I did this. I just went year by year. Every year since 2006, I picked what I believe to be the phone that I used the most during that year. Some of these years were hard where I had 2 or 3 phones that I used a lot during the year, but I tried to just pick the one that I used the most. So, presented without nuance every year from 2006 to 2025, my daily driver. 06, Samsung flip phone. I believe it's called the U340. 2007, Motorola Droid. 2008, the same Motorola Droid. 2009, the same Motorola Droid. Overclocked. Yeah, custom ROM, the whole thing.
Phone.
2010, the Droid X. These are all Verizon phones.
Droid.
2011, the first and only phone I've ever waited in line for, the Samsung Galaxy Nexus.
So jealous.
2012.
That phone was how I found you on
Wait.
YouTube.
Yeah, I
Doing
did a
those
bunch of videos on that phone. Yeah, that was on Verizon as
Droid
well.
X was sick.
Yeah, Droid X was sick. Droid X was a good one.
Droid X was awesome.
Then 2011, Galaxy Nexus. So then 2012, Galaxy Note 2. 2013, HTC One M7 Google Play Edition.
Let's go.
The smile on your face reading that out loud is like
That phone was perfect. That phone was actually perfect.
Google Play Edition.
2014, OnePlus One. 2015, Galaxy Note 5. 2016, Nexus 6P. Yes. 2017, Google Pixel XL. 2018, OnePlus 6. 2019, OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren Edition.
God. Okay, the 7T.
Also perfect. That phone is also perfect.
Even the 7T also is perfect.
Yeah.
Just saying.
2020, iPhone 12 Pro Max, because I split my Android phones too much. 2021, Galaxy S21 Ultra. 2022, Pixel 7 Pro. 2023, Zenfone 10. 2024, S24 Ultra. 2025, S25 Ultra.
you put the Zenfone 10 on there.
Yeah. I use the Zenfone 9 a lot. I didn't make the cut over the Pixel 7 Pro, but those 2 Zenphones in a row were heavy for me. Yeah. That is my list.
Wow. And do we think that Pixel 10 is going to be good enough to dethrone the S25 Ultra?
I'm hoping, honestly. Yeah, Pixel 10 Pro or 10 Pro XL, whatever, and the big one ends up being. That could be interesting.
It's supposed to come out in August.
Yeah, because there
August
hasn't been a
20th.
Pixel as my number one on here since Pixel 7 Pro.
That's crazy.
And I remember Pixel 3 XL almost made my list, but that I think was the same year as one of those OnePlus phones that was just amazing.
I tried to run the regular Pixel 3 because the XL had the Omega notch,
I was
but
fine
the regular
with it.
Pixel 3 had the worst battery life since like
Yeah.
the
The 3XL was good though. Great cameras.
The
for its
notch
time.
was so funny.
It was a
though.
ridiculous notch.
So
Yeah.
funny.
I'm just wondering who like okayed that.
It was character. Honestly, you look at phones today and they all have like some visual character thing. You look at the Pixel 3 XL, it's like, yep, that's the phone with the notch. Fine.
Yeah.
I wish they had more software features though with that notch. Anyway,
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. Later this week, we're going to have our episode where we cover everything that went down at Dub 2025. So if you're not subscribed, you're going to miss it. So make sure to hit that button, ring that bell, like this video. Go to call your mom.
Do it.
Subscribe.
Call your dad.
Subscribe.
Volunteer your time.
Subscribe.
Vote in your local elections.
True.
And most importantly, make sure to watch
Shut
this.
up, Buzz!
All right. See you guys later.